All right, a quick thought. Welcome to the group if you just joined us at our Finding the Purpose, Identity, and Destiny. So I got a great question. I thought I would answer it. Someone was talking about it in the Vine word from Listen to the Vine Dresser, and they were saying, okay, I get this, but what is surrender? And I was having my time with the Lord. I was just talking to him and thinking about it, and what does surrender mean to me? So if that's a question that maybe that's just like you're not quite sure to get a grasp of it, the Lord gave me a few keys that I hope help you. So live or recorded, this might be something that you need. So I think the first place of surrender is simply that trust. That trust that comes from your identity, the trust that says, hey, listen, I'm God's much loved daughter. I can trust all my cares, all my concerns, and all my doubts with Him. I think that's a stage of surrender. And then I think another place that might be hard of surrender is really letting go, meaning letting God manage some things that you've been trying to internally manage. Letting go and saying, on a good day, I do well to manage myself. Letting go of fear and pressing in to that trust mode of really saying, listen, I'm going to let go and surrender, because in my own strength and my own striving, I'm getting nowhere. So then another place of surrender I think is so pivotal when you really want to be surrendered to the Lord, is that consistent, something you can do by your will, regardless of your emotion, that consistency in being thankful and grateful. So I had a word picture. I was sharing it with a lot of people in the last few weeks in our Identity to Destiny blueprint, because I had this picture, and picture yourself in this. And we're talking about surrender now. Someone who gets in a sailboat and Jesus says, hey, let go, let me sail the boat. You're like, okay. But because your sail is held up by gratefulness, trust, and rejoicing, it's able to go. You're able to let go and let God direct you. And what's really cool about this is God can take you to some places that you would not know how to take yourself if you were in control. If you surrender, He can take you to some places you never in your right mind would have thought of. Like in this sailboat, I had pictures of God taking these people to like a harbor where He's like, hey, get out on the beach if you want, swim if you want, or just sit here and be bathed by the perfect temperature and the perfect sun. You would never know how to get there if you hadn't let go. And then God says, okay, let's go. And He rips across the sea, and it's exhilarating because you're not having to drive, and your head's in the wind, and you're like, this is awesome, surrender. And then He stops the sailboat, and He says, okay, mark the longitude and latitude, because down below is a sunken sea ship, and I've got treasures for you, treasures of heaven, but treasures, provision for your vision. You would never have known that, what place in the sea to stop. And that's God taking control. So then the key to this, of the surrender, is what do you do when you get to that place where fear wants to enter? Like in the boat, all of a sudden you're ripping across the ocean, and all of a sudden you see waves start to come in. And they're coming to splash in really bad, and it's like a lot of water's getting in the boat. Because you're in surrender, and your sail is held up by gratefulness, rejoicing, and trusting. You will respond and not react. Reacting would be, oh my gosh, we're going to drown. Oh my gosh, there's too much water. Fear and doubt and confusion. But because of what's holding yourself up, that surrender, that trust, that rejoicing, that gratefulness, you're going to respond from your identity and say, yo, Jesus, I am your much loved daughter. There's a little waves getting in. Could you help me with that? It's just amazing. To react, you got fear and you're probably scrambling around. To respond, you come from that place of identity. It's not looking good, God. You're real. You don't supersede the facts. La, 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 like no big deal. No, you're like, that really concerns me, Father. Could you please help me take care of it, or take care of it yourself? All of this is a picture of surrender, of letting go, of walking in that trust. And I really think also walking in a place of obedience as worship to God, in the small things and the big things. All of this packaged together is a beautiful place of surrender. So then you can get up confidently and know that God has your time's in his hands, as King David says, and go forward in confidence, knowing that you're living a surrendered life, which is really, really beautiful to Jesus. You're living a life of abiding. Yeah, you've got things to do, but you're coming from that place of identity. I know who I am. I'm not going to freak out. I got this bill. I'm not going to freak out. Instead of reacting, I'm going to respond and say, Jesus, I'm your much loved daughter. Will you help me? Help me find a way to pay this bill, or help me to make provision possible, or show me what to do today. It's just a response versus a reacting, which is a model of a surrendered life. And I believe you can do this. I believe that the vine dresser is there giving you hope, giving you wisdom, giving you insight. So every day surrendered to him, I believe you meet the right people at the right time. Doors open at the right time. I believe you come across witty ideas at the right time because you're his surrendered vessel, willing to trust him, willing to walk where he's calling you to walk, obeying him and loving him. The ultimate place of surrender, I think, is abiding in peace. So just someone asked that, and it made me think and pray to God this morning, and I just thought I would share that with you. Hey, if you're enjoying this group, I really appreciate you being here, first of all. And I'd love to share this group with others. So many people I see, I feel like they're stuck, or feel like they're in between the now and the not yet. And we try to just come on and provide love, provide strength. So invite someone. If you're just coming on late, I hope you can go to the beginning of the video and check out what God gave me as an idea of surrender, a word picture. But more than anything, I just really thank you for being an active member of this group. I really believe God thought of technology. And I think he's pretty pleased with a lot of, we can badmouth Facebook and everything all we want, but I think he's excited when he sees people like you connect from around the world. Like past 3 weeks, I had to really understand Australian time, UK time. It was kind of fun. And the people who would get up at 5 in the morning to talk to me, and it's 2 in the afternoon. But I really believe he's joining people together because this is an exciting time. These aren't gory days, these are glory days. God is looking for people like you to rise up in your surrendered self from your identity so you can truly go in the direction that God has for you. He's got a song in you. He's got a book in you. Maybe he's got just a platform and you're just trying to figure out your voice to be that breaker anointed messenger for someone else. That's what this is all about. Understanding your purpose, realizing that from your identity, your destiny flows, and really coming into the place of abiding, not, think of a striving, but going forward in peace and surrender of knowing who you are and what you have to do and what you have to offer. My example of this morning is I knew I needed to create a new teaching package in my Kingdom Mentors group. I knew I needed to teach a basic Facebook groups, how to have them and how to connect. That's what my members are asking for, some of them anyway. And so it was funny, I got up this morning, had my time, had my coffee, husband made me breakfast, and I'm like, okay, God, show me how to do this in a place of abiding. Show me that this is what you put in my DNA. I don't have to worry that I just have to be my authentic self and let that come out with the knowledge I have and present this package. It's like 3 modules. So that's what I'm doing this morning. And I was thinking about that word surrender, so I just wanted to touch base with you. Yes, you, amen. I am his and I abide in him. You got it, Susan. Julie, praying for you. Always awesome to see you online. This is the fun thing about being live. When you're live, you get to see people who are on. So I really appreciate you and those others. I don't necessarily know your names, but I'm excited you're here. Live or recorded, you can surrender. It's who you are in the vine. It's the way God made you to be. The perfect place to go forward in what God is calling you. And I just got to say, if it's really rough and rocky right now, I'm sorry. I do understand. But I want to, to those people, I just want to hand out hope and say, God says, keep your hopes held high. He's got you. He's got you in a place where as you reach out and grab onto hope, he has a place for you for faith, righteousness, and joy to follow. So keep your hope up high. Surrender and have a joy in the surrender. All right. Gotta go back to work. Talk to you in the next video. And I really do love you.